Hey. Okay, welcome everyone to our virtual dog adoption event. Thank you so much for joining. I'm Mila Hill. I am the dog adoption event lead for our virtual stuff. And today you'll be meeting some dogs from City Dogs and City Kitties Rescue, which is a rescue in DC. Almost all of our pets are with fosters in their homes, so you'll be meeting them from their homes today. We're going to be talking to 8 fosters with like 5 to 10 minutes each, and you will also be able to find any information about these dogs on our website, which is citydogsrescuedc.org. And feel free to ask any questions that you have about any of the dogs in the chat. And we're going to go ahead and get started with Gepetto.
Hello.
Hi.
This is Gepetto.
So, Kate, what can you tell us about Gepetto? Like, what's your favorite thing about him?
My favorite thing is he's an adult. I don't know. We've had a couple adolescent fosters and adult dogs who he knows himself. He knows how to handle himself. But he's great. He's super easy in the house. He knows he's housebroken. He came in knowing how to use a crate, and now he loves his crate. Puts himself to bed in there before last walk, but we can get him back out. But yeah, he hangs out all day while I'm working. And he's just good. He only chooses toys. He doesn't pick anything else up. And it's just nice not having to worry. And what else? He's like an engaged dog. He likes his humans. He wants to see what you're doing. I mean, if you're working at your computer, whatever, he gets that. That's not a lot of fun. But if you're cooking, he is right there, like helping out with the cooking, or the kids come home from school. Oops. It's a lot of chest. But yeah, the kids come home. He's excited to see them. I've got 2 kids who are 10 and 13. What are you doing, bud? And he loves to see them, or their friends come in, and he's just happy. He wants to say hi. He respects baby gates. Awesome. You can see I got a baby gate there, but yeah, he does not jump them, and you can leave him behind a gate and he'll just settle.
That's great.
That's nice.
So speaking of, him being able to keep himself entertained and being a pretty chill dog, like what's his favorite toy? What's his favorite thing that he likes to do when he's hanging out?
What's your favorite toy? In the kitchen, it's this bark box. It's a little stuffy, and he has some Nylabones he likes chewing. If he's playing with a person, he likes games that, something's like scurrying around a squeaky toy. But what do you do on your own? Yeah, he'll play with his toys and then he just goes to sleep. When we first got him, he spent a lot of time looking out the windows at the squirrels, and lost out on some naps. But now he's realized that he wants to reprioritize napping, and so he'll check on the squirrels, but he's not as into observing them as he was before.
Okay. And so you talked a little bit about how he is with your kids and like their friends, but yeah, how does he react to like meeting new people and meeting new other dogs and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I also have my own dog who's an older hound. And he's like her 18th foster. So she knows what this gig is. And she always takes a few weeks kind of thinking about, how do I feel about this dog? Do I trust this dog? In what situations? And because she's not super, I don't know, she doesn't need companionship from another dog. But with him, I mean, I feel like it was like a week that she was like, I can trust him around food. I can come in the kitchen and try to raid the trash while he's in there, whatever. But she totally trusts him. And so that's great. And then he understands her. She's not a very playful dog. And we've had some dogs who, kind of listen, but try to initiate play with her a lot. She's not into it. He's never even tried. I can tell he's a playful guy and he'll happily play with another dog, but she doesn't send out that vibe, and he picks up on it. But he communicates well. He understands her communication well. And like her comfort with him is always great. She gives him highest marks. Yeah, kids, he's great. People coming in the house. We've done one bathroom renovation with him here, and that was fine. We had to make sure he didn't like get into the bathroom with the guy doing the tile work because he really likes to be up in people and he's pretty nosy. But like, yeah, and we could have guys going in and out, and he's totally fine with it.
Awesome. And so now when it comes to finding him his forever home, what do you think is something that, his potential forever family needs to know about him?
He is working a bit on how he acts out on leash. He's a little bit, I think that he is adjusting his worldview that the whole world is not there for him. I think he used to be in a home in an environment where he was loved, but he only encountered stuff that was on his property. And so he's still a little bit like, if there's a car idling, he's like, who's in that car? And he's just nosy with other dogs. He's like, who's that dog? So he's working on that a bit. So he'd probably be better in an area that's not too busy. And he's definitely improved a lot in terms of his understanding that public spaces are public, and he needs to worry about what I'm doing outside, right? But yeah, that's the big thing. Otherwise, I mean, he's great inside. He likes a busy household, but he can manage himself checking on the squirrels. Yeah, and he's a good guy.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Catherine. Thank you to Gepetto. And you can find Gepetto online on our website, citydogsrescuedc.org. And he also has his own link with all of his information, which is bit.ly/adopt Gepetto. His name is spelled Gepetto. And thank you so much again to both of you. And if you have any questions about Gepetto, go ahead and put them in the chat. And we're going to move on to our next dog. Okay, so up next is Demi. Demi is a 2-year-old, 70-pound German Shepherd mix from North Carolina. Demi is being fostered by Desmond. So Desmond will be here to talk to us a little bit about Demi. So Desmond, what can you tell us about Demi's personality?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yes.
So Demi is a lovely personality. She's very friendly with other dogs and other humans. She is she's great company in the apartment. She's very quiet in the apartment. She tends to sort of lie down, take it easy. She loves treats and is always motivated by treats. She occasionally plays with toys, but more often eats bones or things like that. I have a bone for her and she'll sort of play at that. But typically, she's motivated by going outside, going up to DuPont Circle, chasing squirrels, going to the dog park, playing with other dogs, meeting and greeting. And then when she comes back, she's lies down on the sofa and tends to take it easy. And any opportunity for a treat, she savors. But she's even this morning, I brought her to the DuPont Circle Market, and she's not intimidated by anyone, and she's very easy company to have around. And, somebody even came up to me, I was at the bank machine, and I was taking out money, and somebody came up and just observed how quiet and how calm she was. And she's not a bother. She really is a lovely dog.
That's awesome. So going a little bit off of that, does Demi's ideal day look like? How does she like to spend her time?
Well, typically, I will get up around 6 a.m. or so, and I'll give her breakfast. Then she may sort of hang around for about 10 or 15 minutes or so. And then I'll bring her for a walk around 6:30. And I'll bring her up to DuPont Circle and she'll chase the squirrels around DuPont Circle. She absolutely is fixated it's always chasing, it's never catching. And then I bring her to the dog park and we spend about half an hour to 45 minutes there, and she plays with all the dogs. And then bring her back here. And then she sort of rests and is around and about the apartment for, until around mid-morning, bring her for 10 or 15 minutes, maybe around mid-morning, and then at lunchtime again, and then maybe during the afternoon. And then in the evening, we go out again, probably for a longer period, because sometimes I may meet somebody at Sweet Green for a salad. So I'll bring her up to DuPont Circle, then I'll bring her over to the dog park, then we'll go to the salad shop, and she'll just sit by us. I mean, she's highly food motivated, so sometimes at Sweet Green there can be a little bit of action, because she sees all these people eating, but it's very easily managed. And then it's maybe before bed at night, I'll maybe bring her for another walk. She's also become, she was on a trial adoption, and while she was on a trial adoption, she became quite friendly with that couple and also their dog. So I occasionally meet them and their dog at another dog park. And Demi's always delighted to see that dog. And there's a number of dogs in the neighborhood now that Demi has become particularly friendly with. But Demi is always curious and friendly with all dogs.
That's awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about what she's like on walks? Like, how far does she like to go? Is she a super sniffer? Like, how does she interact with people that you walk past? All of that.
She started as a super sniffer. I guess that was because she was in a new neighborhood. Actually, over the weekend, somebody asked me to look after their dog, and that dog comes from the suburbs, and I've noticed that dog is also a super sniffer, and I guess it's something to do with being in a new neighborhood. She's less now of the super sniffer, and she tends to more have a purpose. So when we leave the apartment, she's very keen to go to DuPont Circle. And, and she, as we approach DuPont Circle, she can pull a bit, but I've had previous other dogs who pulled a lot more. She's actually a very easy dog to handle. And she's very, anybody who she passes by, sometimes she ignores them, sometimes she'd sort of engage with them and look at them or whatever, but typically she'll like to play with other people's dogs, but sometimes people just want to go by, and she'll be disappointed, but she's not going to be a pest. So she's very easy to handle.
That's great. And just to wrap up with Demi, what do you think is something that her potential forever family needs to know about her?
So I don't think there's anything in particular. I mean, she did have some stomach problems when I first got her, but she's now on a special diet, and those problems have sort of gone away. And you'll see her actually at the moment in the crate searching for food. There's nothing in there, but anyway, she's still searching. But she's so that was an issue. That was a concern up to a few weeks ago. I don't think it's a concern anymore. I think basically she's just a lovely dog. She's very focused. So there's it's chasing squirrels, it's the dog park, it's different things like that. But she's there's nobody everybody who's come into the apartment is very well received. And even the dog here that I'm looking after for somebody else, Demi tried to befriend that dog, but that dog didn't seem to have any interest. So Demi just sort of ignores her. And no, she's a lovely dog and great behavior, and lovely dog. Yeah, you'll see the yeah. But
thank you so much, Desmond, and Demi. And if you want to find out more about Demi, you can find her on our website, which is citydogsrescuedc.org. And she also has her own link, which is bit.ly/adoptdemi. And her name is spelled Demi. And again, you can leave any questions that you have about Demi in the chat. And thank you again, Demi and Desmond.
Okay, thank you.
So up next, we're going to have Red. And Red is being fostered by Katie. Thank you so much for joining us, Katie. Red is a 12-year-old, 50-pound hound mix from West Virginia. And she's also available for a reduced fee because she is a senior. She's a nice old lady. So Katie, can you introduce us to Red and what he's like?
Yeah, so Red is Well, first of all, we have to say that I know that we've got information that he's 12, but this is a puppy, people. I am telling you, there's nothing old about him. He is curious. He doesn't show any signs of being this outdoor dog, and he's learning. So we're working on a sit and stay right now. This is the longest I'm going to let him get his treat thing here. So he's so fun. And we signed up for an old man, and that is not what we got. He has a lot of energy, and he's on a bit of an exercise restriction now. So we haven't been able to take him out and do all the fun things. I cannot wait to see Red when he's able to really get out and let that nose take him on a walk on the trail, or out for a jog with someone. I think he is just such a fun dog, and he's learning so fast. Like this, we got him this to help slow down feeding time, and we just got it the other day, and it took him like 30 seconds to figure out how to just move the thing around to get all the food he wants. So he's really smart. He's great with our kids and with our other dog, and every day he just settles in a little bit more. Last night, for the first time, he like rolled over for belly pets, which is, even as comfortable as he was, as much as he likes snuggles, he hadn't been comfortable enough to like put his belly up. And so, I just can't wait to see this guy blossom in his forever home.
That's awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about, like, when is Red the happiest? Like, what is his favorite thing?
Aside from food time, he likes to be around us. I would, want to say he wants to follow us around. He likes to be out in the yard and sniffing around. But he also seems to really appreciate naps. He'll go put himself in his crate on his own during the day when I'm working. He loves cuddle time at the end of the day on the couch. We let him up when the kids are in bed and we're just watching TV. He loves to jump up and just pass out on you. It is so sweet.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit more about how Red is with your kids and how he is with new people?
Yeah, well, his tail never stops wagging. He wants to immediately be friends with anyone who walks in the house. With our children, he's great. He doesn't get startled. He doesn't seem to have any kind of like anxiety around them. We're working on making sure that he understands the pack order in our house, and but he's really receptive. So we made some adjustments, like that the children, that he shouldn't be higher than the kids. So he's not allowed on the couch with them, and that was an adjustment that we made, and he got that right away. He will occasionally steal a stuffy. My daughter has a giant stuffed lion that I found in the middle of the living room one day. But he just seems to bring it and then drop it. He's not destructive with their stuff. But yeah, he's gentle. He's been around other children that came to the house too. And everyone was just really impressed with how well he adjusted to that. And, they're 4 and 7, so they're not quiet. And they do their best to, respect his space, but he does really well with them.
That's great. Do you have another dog in your house?
Yeah, we have an 8-year-old shepherd poodle mix, who is totally the old man of the two. It's really funny. And, Red and Lido, they seem to respect each other's space. They'll give some grumbles sometimes when it's, I want that, or I want that toy, but there have never been any kind of like, other than, grumpy old men moments. They get along really well. They're so cute when they walk together, and they seem to really like checking out our yard together and sniffing around. I think that Red probably had to fight for some of his food sometimes, in his previous life. But he's even getting better at that. He's not aggressive. I mean, he'll take his chance to get at Lito's food if he can, but he's doing so well and kind of learning about sharing with another dog. And he seems very happy he would go sit next to Lito anytime. Lito's the one that's like, oh, give me some space. So Red's great. Thank you. Sit.
So to wrap up with Red, what is something that you think his potential adopters, his forever family, needs to know about him before he joins their life?
I think that, for a dog that probably hasn't been inside a lot before, who had, he was really skinny when we got him. I mean, he's so trusting. He's so sweet. He's really smart. And he's going to be so fun. And I just can't wait. Any work that goes into it is so worth it. And we wish so much that we could keep Red. He's a heartbreaker for us. And so we just really want to see him with that forever family as soon as possible. He's going to make somebody so, so happy. Sit. Boy, that's a good boy. Yeah. I mean, look at that face. Look at this. He's so tolerant of all of my pictures and yeah, these ears, guys. Look at these ears. They're amazing.
Okay, thank you so much, Katie, and thank you to Red, of course. You can find out more about Red on our website, which is citydogsrescuedc.org. And Red also has his own link, which is bit.ly/adoptable red. And it's spelled red like the color, RED. Okay, thank you again to Katie and to Red. And we're going to move on to our next dog. Okay, so up next is Rose with Leah.
Hello.
Hi. Rose is a 7-year-old Plothound mix from North Carolina. Can you tell us what is something special about Rose?
I think something special about Rose is I think she's very resilient. My guess is I don't think she had an easy life before she came to DC. I think she has never lived in a house. I'm not sure if she ever got a lot of one-on-one attention. I think she had a lot of puppies, but she is the sweetest, just soaking up love and attention dog. And there's just something about her, that makes you want to let her know that only good things lie ahead for her now.
Oh, that's nice. So how does Rose like to spend time with you?
Well, she is a little on the older side, so she's a grade A napper, but she still has that hound goofiness. So, in the house, she likes a good snooze in the recliner. That's kind of been that's her new favorite spot. But she loves walks. I thought she came up 2 weeks ago, in a snowstorm in DC. And she was very timid at intake, tail tucked way up between her legs. And I was worried because I live in a really busy neighborhood. I live in Columbia Heights, which is not quiet. And I was worried about how she might do in the city. But she just loves it. She isn't afraid of the traffic and the noise and all the people. And she just loves to get out there and sniff, sniff, sniff everything. She has gone potty on her walks from day one, which is very rare for my fosters. It often takes a little while for that to click in. So she's just really been enjoying, kind of that. I will say, she doesn't really understand what toys are. And my dog keeps trying to play with her. I think over time, maybe my dog will win her over. But for now, she just kind of is just kind of learning the ways of living in the house and kind of just getting used to everything in the city.
Awesome. And so you mentioned your dog a little bit, but can you tell us a little bit more about what Rose is like with your dog and with other dogs that she meets? Sure.
So I'll just say my dog is very alpha. My dog is very dominant. So we always have to be a little careful in the dogs that we foster. My dog has a Napoleon complex. So we try not to foster dogs that are bigger than her. And she's only about 45 pounds. So Rose is a deviation of my dog's normal foster. We usually foster dogs that are smaller, that are younger, but Rose is about the same size as my dog. And Rose has been great with her. She doesn't seem to need to they're not, I don't think at this point they consider each other like best friends. And like I said, my dog wants to play with her, but Rose doesn't quite understand the signals or maybe know what playing is. But they just love when they get on those walks together, it's like, oh, let's sniff over here. Let's sniff over there. And they love to sniff the same things. I feel like they're kind of each other's wingmen when they're out walking together. She has not shown any signs of leash reactivity yet, knock on wood. Sometimes that takes a little while to come out in my fosters. I'll say Rose is my 40th foster dog, and my first hound, believe it or not. So I've been learning a lot about hounds in the last 2 weeks. But she always shows interest when she sees other dogs. But my dog can be leash reactive, so we don't tend to meet dogs on the street just because my dog can be a jerk. But when I've walked Rose by herself, even when other dogs bark at her and react at her, she just kind of looks at them like, okay, whatever, and just keeps going. So she's been great.
Awesome. And can you tell us a little bit more about what she's like on walks? Like, how far does she like to go? What does she like to sniff a lot? Does she react with squirrels? All of that.
Oh, she sniffs everything. She sniffs all the sniffs that are there to be sniffed. And it's funny, the first 2 weeks, we were in DC, and she walked really well. She does walk well on leash. She wasn't much of a puller. This weekend we came out to the Eastern Shore, and being out away from the city, she's definitely been pulling more and wanting to run around and smell more things. So we've switched her to a freedom harness, to a no pull harness, but it's just excitement. Her tail's just wagging and her head is up, and she just loves it. I haven't noticed her too much with the squirrels. She'll watch them, but she doesn't go nuts like my dog. And my dog is obsessed with cats on walks. But so far, Rose has not picked up on that. She's really, especially with the no pull harness, she's pretty easy to walk. We go for about 30, 40-minute walks. She does have some activity restrictions, so we have to kind of go slow, but that's okay, because then she has more things to sniff.
Oh. And what's something special that you think her potential adopters need to know before they merge their lives?
I'm not sure she'd be the best dog like in a super active household. She does kind of still flinch a little bit from sudden movements or loud noises in the house. Again, I just think it's something she's still getting used to. So she can be a little unsure about those things. So I'm not sure a really busy, active house would be best for her. But I think she's such a great mix of, if you're looking for a lower energy dog that doesn't need lots of hours of walks or romps at the dog park. I mean, she loves them. It's that kind of perfect combination of, she loves to nap, but a good 30-minute walk, that's great for her. So it's really, I think she'd be a great dog looking for a dog that's still active, but doesn't require hours of activity every day.
Awesome. She's a cutie pie. Thank you so much, Leah and Rose. Again, you can find anything else that you want to know about Rose on our website, citydogsrescuedc.org, or at her link, which is bit.ly/adoptrose, spelled ROSE like the flower. And if you have any questions about Rose, you can go ahead and put them in the chat. And we'll move on to our next dog. Thank you again, Leah and Rose. So our next dog is Theo. Theo is a 4-month-old, 12-pound lab mix. And Christine is going to be helping us, talk about Theo.
Sorry, come in bed now, of course, that I had to move. Hi, this is Theo. He is a 4-month-old. He's actually a little bigger now. He's about 14 pounds. His papers say he's a lab mix, but if you ask me, I think he's just a straight up mutt in all his glory. The most important thing to know about Theo is you are getting a puppy. So I have been calling him just a fantastic starter puppy, because I really think he's generally so calm, especially for a puppy. He's pretty content to play by himself. But that being said, he would prefer to be doing all of his activities sitting on your lap. So he is a super snuggler, very affectionate, just wants to be with his people whenever possible. he loves just doing whatever you're doing. So even if I'm just like sitting on the couch watching TV, he wants to be right next to you, doing that as well. So he's been a really quick learner. He's picking up on commands really quickly, working on house training, still not fully housebroken, but he's doing a great job. Leash walking. So Theo was rescued from Puerto Rico. So he was not fully vaccinated when he arrived in the US, the continental US. So he is still, he's still, he was not able to go for far walks. So we're still working on leash walking. That's brand new. And he hasn't really been exposed to a lot of, to a lot of other dogs up to this point.
Okay. So you mentioned a little bit about like he's being a little bit trained, and he's working on being housebroken. But how many words does he know? Like how trainable is he?
He is very trainable. Here, let's see here. Come here. Well, now I gave him a toy. So although the other thing to know about Theo is serious about food. Even now you can tell he's like sitting super erect. So he's extremely food motivated, which has made training much easier. Yeah, see, he's already showing off. Sit. Yep. Oh. Come here, bud. Sit. Yeah. Can you lie down? Yep. Good boy. And we won't do paw on the couch, but he's learning that too. He also knows to go to his bed. So I can send him to bed. I won't do that right now. He's in the other room. But I have found him to be very trainable. He's picking up very quickly. So he's also trying to do paw. That was paw. So yeah, he is just a delight. He really is. I think he's going to be just a fantastic household, or a fantastic addition to any household. He is the sweetest little guy.
Awesome. And how does Theo like to spend his time? You talked a little bit about toys and all that, but like what are his favorite things to do?
So Theo's favorite thing to do is to sit in your lap and just soak up snuggles. I would say that's his primary activity. He also loves chew toys. He loves bones. He is into all the things. I will say though, for a puppy, and having been, I don't know what number foster Theo is anymore, but he's really not destructive. He hasn't, I've lost quite a few shoes to other fosters over time. Theo really doesn't get into stuff. That being said, if left to his own devices, I'll catch him like trying to knot my socks or something. But he loves bones. That's his favorite thing, is super into food, as you can tell, and is starting to become braver. So we've just started doing walks outside, and he's every day becoming more adventurous and wanting to see more of the neighborhood. So but yeah, his real favorite activity is being with you.
Right. And what's your favorite thing about Theo? Like what makes him special to you?
Theo is just this, like, really just such an affectionate dog. I mean, I've really never had a dog this young that is just so into being and doing whatever you're doing. Normally they're kind of all over the place and really distracted. But Theo really just enjoys being in your presence.
That's awesome. And is there and is there anything special that you think his potential family should know before adopting him?
I mean, the big thing to know with Theo is he is picking up super quickly, but he's still a puppy. So there's house training is still, he's not all the way there yet. And just basic manners, things like jumping and stuff like that are things that Theo will need to continue to work on. But he's so quick to pick up on stuff that I really don't think it'll take very long for him to get acclimated to a household.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, Christine and Theo. You can find more about Theo on our website, which is citydogsrescuedc.org, or at his link, which is bit.ly/adopttheo, spelled THEO. Thank you again, Christine and Theo. And we're going to move on to our next dog. So our next dog is Mina. Mina is a 4-month-old. I have the number 8 pounds, but that might have changed. Lab mix. And she's being fostered by Emily. Emily, what can you tell us about Mina?
Yeah, Mina is now 13 pounds, so she grew a lot in the 2 or 3 weeks that we've had her. She's actually Theo's sister, so she also came from Puerto Rico a little bit after Theo did. So, she's a little new to the household. She's a puppy like Theo. So just, kind of working on house training, chewing. She has her bowl stick right here to get her to pay attention. She has got a short attention span, so she likes to kind of wander around, pick up different toys, kind of, get attention. She has a kind of a good mix of snuggles and play. So in the morning, she's really, really snuggly, and she'll kind of curl up into my lap, take a chew toy and snuggle. And then throughout the day, she gets a little more excited. So she'll, play a lot more. She likes to play with our dog a lot. She's recently fully vaccinated, so we just started taking her on walks, and she really likes doing that. She's very brave. The first couple of days was pretty hard for her. It was really cold the first couple of days. That's kind of when it snowed. So she wasn't used to that, but after, she kind of got used to our backyard, and, our dog helped a little bit. So she has grown into being a really, really brave puppy.
Awesome. And you mentioned a little bit about your dog. What can you tell us about how Mina interacts with your dog and other dogs that she meets?
Yeah. Mina is extremely playful. So every time she sees our dog, her tail just starts wagging. She gets way more excited to see our dog than she does to see us. She just loves being around dogs. As far as other dogs, other than ours, again, she's just recently fully vaccinated, so we haven't introduced her to too many other dogs yet. The couple of walks that we've brought her on, she has seen other dogs walking, other dogs barking from their household windows, that kind of thing. And for right now, she kind of just is watching, kind of taking it in. But I'm sure if she gets the opportunity to go up and meet those dogs at some point, I think that she'll really enjoy that and will want to play. She's, again, very brave. So she just kind of wants to see what's going on and then really get in on the action.
Awesome. And so what is your favorite thing about Mina that you've, learned in the little bit of time that you've spent with her?
Yeah, my favorite thing about Mina is she just fits so much personality into such a tiny little dog. She just is so affectionate. So she'll come for snuggles and everything, but then she wants to play. She's super smart. So she's already caught on to some tricks. The first week we were really focused on house training and everything. And she's at the point now where she will sit by the door and give us a whimper when she needs to go outside. She hasn't had an accident in about a week now. And yeah, she's just so much personality. She's a little sassy sometimes, which I think is hilarious. She will, if she wants your attention, she'll give you a little bit of a bark. And then, you'll look over and she'll, show how she wants to play and everything. And yeah, she's just a ball of personality.
Awesome. And from your time with her, what do you think Mina's ideal forever home would look like?
Yeah, I think, given that she's a puppy, she's still, her full personality will still kind of bloom and blossom. I think that she will end up being a relatively active dog, just given, how she is as a puppy. She does really like to play. She is adventurous. She is very brave. So I think the household will be, someone that can teach her, some puppy manners, at this age, and then really just take her places and kind of explore the world with her, show her new things. She really, she hasn't been afraid of anything. since that first week when it was a very uneasy time. So I think she's kind of just wants to be, a central part of the family and do everything with them.
Awesome. And what do you think that her forever parents need to know about her?
She's still a puppy, so she definitely needs to work on some puppy manners. She knows we just started working on sit, so she's really good with that. We started working on like lay down yesterday, so she's kind of getting the hang of that. She's pretty good about chewing on just toys, but every once in a while you'll touch her, like, especially for attention, she'll chew on, something that she shouldn't be. And then, of course, house training, although she is doing really, really well with that, I don't know how she would do, in a brand new environment that she doesn't know, okay, this is the door that I'm supposed to sit at when I need to go outside. So just kind of working on, some basic puppy stuff. And then, just working on socialization, continuing with that so that she grows into like being a really awesome dog.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Emily and Mina. If you have any questions about Mina or any of the dogs that we've met so far, you can go ahead and put them in the chat. You can find more information about Mina on our website, citydogsrescuedc.org, or at her link, which is bit.ly/adoptmina, spelled MINA. Thank you again, Mina and Emily. And we're going to move on to our next dog. Okay, so up next is Chaya. Chaya is a 5-year-old, 37-pound hound mix from North Carolina. I think we're going to skip Chaya and we'll circle back. Sorry, give me 1 second.
There we go. There we go.
There we go. Okay. So Chaya is with Elisa, right?
No, we just picked her up from Elisa. We're taking up this is Brandon. I'm Christina. Hi. And we just picked her up a little while ago. So she just got home. Awesome. And she's been doing really, really well. She's extremely calm, even though we have a pretty rambunctious City Dog alum in the background who I'm going to hand this to you, Brandon. I'm going to go take that away from him.
Okay, here she is.
So I know that you just got her, but what can you tell us about Chaya's demeanor so far?
Oh my gosh. So we've met her a few times and she's extremely sweet. Very quick to say hello to new people. When I picked her up, she just came right up, running to me, jumped on me, like put her paws up and just looked very, very happy.
Awesome. So have you had any experience with Chaya, with any other dogs? I mean, obviously there's your dog right behind her.
Yeah, there's our dog. So she's way calmer than him and she's responding pretty well to his kind of excitement about having another dog. As you can see, she's basically just ignoring him, which is really great to see. We've also, the times we've met her have been at other adoption events and she's gotten along really well with all the dogs there. So she's been doing really, really well with other dogs. The one advice we've been given is just to feed her separately because she's pretty food motivated. And every time we even come near the food, she's been following us over. Yeah. So she's really, definitely a food motivated little pup. But is very, very sweet with other dogs and clearly willing to share the affection, not getting jealous like our dog is. Yeah. So.
And from the time that you've spent with her, like, what is your favorite thing about Chaya so far?
Oh, well, she's just so immediately affectionate. She's really been very, very sweet with anyone she meets. She's really good with can you just put him away?
Yeah. Sorry.
She's been really sweet with other dogs, with all the people that we meet. We've noticed her being really good with kids. And so even though we've just had her for even just like a minute, she's actually been very sweet and affectionate with us as well. She is very, very calm. And she's just incredibly affectionate and sweet with all of the people that we know that have fostered her in the past too.
Yeah.
So it's been, she's just such a kind and gentle soul.
You can see that she's actually being way more calm than our resident dog.
And what do you
noise since being here?
Yeah.
And so what do you think Chaya's ideal forever home would look like?
So she would do really well both with another dog or without another dog. She gets a lot of confidence from other dogs, is what we've heard, particularly on like going on walks, and experiencing new things. But she also has done well, being a solo dog, and obviously wouldn't have to compete for attention. So either one of those places would be great. She's done really well with her crate training. So that's something that's been really progressing throughout all of her fosters, but someone that would be like committed to continuing to work on that with her. And she's pretty average energy. She's not been, what we've witnessed like at different events and things is some dogs will really want to play with each other, and she's pretty content just to hang out, but she does love to go on walks sometimes. One of her previous fosters would take her out on hikes. But she doesn't necessarily need a ton of activity or stimulation. I just want to, her tail has been wagging like the whole time that she's been here. So it's been really nice.
Hey guys, I'm so sorry. This is Elisa. I thought I would just jump in if you have any questions. Chaya was at my house on and off at different periods of time. So I can also add if you have any questions. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. What is one of your favorite things about Chaya and how the time that you spent with her?
I just think she is like the goofiest, sweetest girl. She loves getting her belly rubbed. She loves just like if I'm sitting working, she'll come over and put her head on my lap. She's really goofy. Like sometimes we'll be walking and all of a sudden she's rolling on her back in the middle of the street. Like you just don't know. But she's a sweetheart. I mean, she is look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. Wow. She's a really sweet dog. And I just really feel like we cannot figure out why she hasn't gotten adopted yet.
Okay. And to wrap up with her, I want to hear from both of you on this. What do you think, what is something that you think her potential forever family needs to know about her before she joins their lives?
Elisa, you go ahead first.
I mean, I guess like the sort of like the only thing I would say to be cautious about with her is that she is really obsessed with food. So we always be very careful when there's food around. But the thing I would say to know about her is just that she is just like all love. And she's pretty low maintenance. Like she doesn't know how to use stairs yet inside a house, has been my experience. So our dogs, like the resident dogs in my house, sleep upstairs, but she just puts herself to bed at night, like in a dog bed on the main level. The only night when there was that really bad thunderstorm, she was standing at the bottom of our stairs crying. So we just carried her upstairs and then she just slept in our bed and she was just perfectly happy to be with us. Like she's a really, really sweet dog. And everybody who meets her loves her.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think our like for her family to know that she's really within just basically 30 minutes has already settled in and knows that this is a safe place for her to be, and knows that, she's in a warm, safe environment where she'll be fed, and she's been just really happy and already settled in to be with us, which is such a nice feeling when you're adopting a dog that's maybe lived with other people that they'll just kind of come in and love you immediately. And that's what it's been so far.
Totally. She's really adaptable. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Christina, Elisa, Brandon. And
one more thing I have noticed with her, she does, I don't know how she did, Christina and Brandon, getting to your house, but when she came here one time, she got car sick. So when she came, like, she's not the same dog. Like when she first comes out of the car, you're a little bit like, whoa. But then as soon as she feels better, she feels better. So I think maybe sometimes she may give a false impression, like right after getting out of the car.
Okay, that's good to know. So yeah, thank you to Christina, Elisa, Brandon, and of course Chaya. You can ask any questions that you have about Chaya in the chat. And you can find information about her on our website, which is citydogsrescuedc.org, or at her link, which is bit.ly/adopt Chaya. Her name is spelled Chaya. And we're going to move on to our last dog. Thank you, guys. So our last dog is Busy. Busy is a 2-year-old, 28-pound lab mix, and she's being fostered by Ryan. So Ryan, can you introduce us to Busy?
Sure. Busy is a real sweetheart. She really loves nothing more than cuddling up with people. As you can see right now, she's been sitting here sleeping through all of her friends' presentations over the last hour. And we've just really enjoyed having her. She is I think still a young dog. As somebody said earlier, talked about adolescent dogs. I think that she's still probably in her early teens, and so has some learning to do yet, but rewards all of it with a lot of affection and playfulness.
Awesome. And what's Busy like in the house? What does she like to do?
She likes to play with her chew toys, which she likes to play with just about anything that she can put in her mouth. But we have now acquired a lot of chew toys so that we keep her away from shoes and other soft things. And she otherwise, most of the time when we're in the house, she just wants to follow us around and be near us. You know, if we're up on the couch, she'll want to climb up on the couch and put her head in our lap, or things like that.
Awesome. And how does Busy behave when meeting new people or new dogs?
So she is pretty shy at first. She was very shy when we picked her up from a temporary overnight foster 2 weeks ago, and it took her. She latched onto Ariel, my wife, right away, but took her probably a day or two to warm up to me. But once she did, she's become very affectionate when she's not sort of in the middle of nap time now. And I think that when she meets strangers on the when we're out walking, she usually is interested in like walking up and sniffing them, but isn't necessarily looking to jump on them or interact right away. She's still being a little bit reserved the first time through. We have 3 dogs of our own at the house, and she has warmed up to them as well. It took a few days for her to get used to them and they to her, but since then they're all much older and a little grumpier and not as interested in playing. And I think that she actually would appreciate having a younger dog around who was a little bit more interested in running around with her when they had the chance.
Awesome.
Oh, and you just heard one of your foster sisters barking at them or something.
What type of forever homes do you think would be a good fit for Busy?
So I think right now Busy's we've got her on some activity restriction because she's heartworm positive. But I think that over time, as she goes through her treatment and gets into sort of the prime of life, she'll really enjoy being around an active family. I think she would enjoy being in a house with other dogs. But I don't know that that's necessarily a requirement. But she really enjoys the walks. We always have a long walk in the morning and usually another medium or long one in the evening. And she always enjoys getting out and, seeing the neighborhood and exploring new things. And I suspect that when the time comes and she's off the activity restriction, she's going to really enjoy playing fetch and being able to kind of run around the dog park and things like that.
Awesome. And what do you think her potential family needs to know before they adopt her?
I think that she is super affectionate, just absolutely, and very interested in pleasing people. She's learned sit already. She's food motivated, but not to a crazy extent. So she can be fed we fed her in her crate. We've also fed her around her foster sisters, and she does just fine eating around them, even though she gets a food that isn't quite as attractive to her as what they're eating. We're still working on some house training, some of the other sort of teenage behaviors that others were talking about before, but I have no doubt that she's going to get there. She knows when she's doing things that she should be doing versus when, we kind of catch her in the act of something that she knows she shouldn't be doing. She recognizes that pretty quickly. And so I think she'll be a great addition for somebody's family. If we didn't, or we were just talking before this started, if we didn't already have 3 dogs at home, we would be in danger of keeping her forever. But as it is, we're happy to have her until she finds her right family.
Awesome. Thank you so much to Ryan and Busy. If you have any questions about Busy or any of the dogs that we've spoken to today, you can go ahead and put those in the chat. You can find Busy on our website at citydogsrescuedc.org or at her link, which is bit.ly/adoptbusy, BUSY, like the word. And I just want to thank all of our foster parents, all of our foster dogs again for coming today and trying to help these dogs find their forever homes. I want to thank our audience for showing up and having some interest in these dogs. Again, you can go to our website and find out a lot more information about all of these dogs, citydogsrescuedc.org. You can also find volunteer opportunities if you want to help out with running events like this or finding foster families for these dogs. You can also volunteer to foster on our website. So all of that is on our website. Again, the link is citydogsrescuedc.org. And thank you again for showing up and being so supportive, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.